Yo, what's up, YouTube? This is your boy Jay from Keeping It Real, your arbiter of gaming news and commentary, hitting you off with a studio production video where you know this is your channel, where all gamers' voices are heard. With your boy Jay, always dropping the word. Keeping them other gaming YouTubers like, what you heard? And where you always know, we always keep it all the way real. So what's up, YouTube? You know what time it is, the places where your gamers' voices are heard, and your boy Jay is dropping that word. So yeah, what's going on, everybody? Just want to thank you guys all for checking out my video today, man. And you guys know I had to do it. I'm back at it again. Trying to keep up with that promise, man, and keep that regular content rolling. Yeah, man. This one's gonna be an interesting video, man. Where like usual, man, I don't see a lot of cats talking about this, man, but this one's gonna be about, is Sony gonna ever really be able to compete with Game Pass? Because there's a lot of speculation on this, man. You got guys on different sides of the fence and whatnot. The common wisdom, when it comes to presidents, I would say no, because Sony has never done anything like that. But I'm gonna start digging into that and really explain it, because you have cats that even earlier on, even when it comes to Xbox guys, some of them are saying, this was earlier on, months ago, and even late last year, where they were saying that Sony was going to eventually come up with something like Game Pass, or come up with a Game Pass answer. And I've always maintained that no, not really. They're not really going to do that. And I just want to start breaking down why Sony is in quite the predicament right now. Because if you understand what their business model currently is, and you understand them as a company when it comes to their potential in making revenue and profit versus a juggernaut like Microsoft, they might as well be on different planets. And I think it's really important that guys need to really start putting this into perspective, because I think when they start throwing a lot of these accusations around of what they think Sony can do and this and that, they have no clue what they're talking about when it comes to the business standpoint. Because there's a reason why Sony's doing things the way they're doing things, and you really need to understand how the business works. And I'm going to break some of that down and explain why, yeah, Sony ain't coming up with no Game Pass answer. Not this year, not next year, and not the year after that. Heck, they may not even do it for this whole generation. I'm going to break that down. Why? And if not, what are they going to do? So let's start out with this. Let's start out with Sony's business model. Now, when you look at Sony's business model, you got to ask yourself one question in regards to this next generation that we're currently in. There's a reason why they switched to have their games $70, even when they know they're not even doing full-fledged next generation games. They're doing what essentially is cross-generation games, because these games are still able to be played on the PS4. Well, you got to ask yourself, why do they do that? Now, the conventional wisdom is, well, the games are a lot more expensive, and they had to cover. Well, you don't think it's a lot more expensive for Xbox? And in my opinion, it's even more expensive for Xbox, because Xbox is taking on more studios, which is more costs, right? So I don't think that's all of it. That's not the whole picture when it comes to games are getting more expensive to make, because it's the same thing for Xbox, but yet they're sustaining that cost and not pushing it over on the customer, right? They're not charging you the extra cost on their games just because, hey, games are harder to make. So I just don't believe that. I don't think that makes any sense to the facts of the matter. And when you dig in deeper, you'll realize, no, there's more to it. So let's go beyond that. Now, you think about what Sony's doing. Sony had already moved, because you think about it, their PSN used to be free. Then it switched from being free to them basically saying, well, somehow, even though we have a lackluster network, even though we're nowhere near on par to what Xbox is doing in regards to their reliability of their network, on their platform. Yeah, we're gonna somehow validate it of just putting our PSN service at the same price as what Xbox is doing, which was alarming to me. But when I seen that, I said I can see why. Because you think about it, they got a lot of stooges that are willing to pay it. So hey, why not? And they definitely need it because they definitely need to boost their revenue. When it comes to it, they seen all that money Microsoft is, man. They were like, man, we gonna hop in this too. So you have that where they did that, and when they did that, I knew what was coming next. Fast forwarding from that, when it came to this next generation, and they're raising those games to $70, even though they know these are not even full-fledged next generation games, it tells you something. It tells you they lack the ability to be able to make any serious change in regards to where their industry is going. If you think about where the industry is going, whether it is video games, whether it's movies, everything's moving to a subscription model. Heck, look at what most of your YouTubers you're probably watching right now. Each and every one of them got a Patreon. They got their own little private little thing going on. You can buy it. They got merch. They got all this stuff where they're trying to get you on some type of pay this, pay that, or get on this subscription, get on that subscription, right? Everything moving forward, that's where it's going. Now, but you notice with Sony, when it comes to now this Project Spartacus thing, what do? They basically gave you what you already had. They just consolidated it where you can now have it all at once or all together. And I'm going to tell you that is the best that you're going to be getting from them for a couple of single reasons. Number one, they don't have the infrastructure. We're going to go through this step by step. See, Microsoft, when it comes to Game Pass, they laid down the infrastructure as well as have the in-house technology to create the server rooms, all of the infrastructure that's necessary to house and facilitate all of the intricate processes of what it takes to have, be able to play a full-fledged video game on your phone or on your tablet. You got to think about all the infrastructure and all the technology know-how you have to institute something like that, especially amongst a wide customer base, right? That is not just an easy thing just to do. And Microsoft took years in tweaking that, investing into it, billions of dollars of investment in time, energy, and to create all the architecture and the technology to be able to do that. Do you think Sony has invested in that? You better ask somebody. They ain't invested in none of that. That's just not a thing. Even when it comes to anything like that, they're borrowing from Sony. I don't know if you guys know about that deal last year that Sony made with Microsoft. A lot of that had to do with their infrastructure and them trying to build out something to be able to have some type of presence when it comes to streaming and online. And a lot of that is coming from Microsoft. So one of the big things is Sony just doesn't have the know-how in regards to its networking to even be able to have an equivalent of what what Game Pass is even having in the first place. Now, that's one. Now you go to two, the games. If you think Sony is going to be able to put their games day and date on any streaming service and cut deeply into their profits, you got to remember, when Microsoft did this, they did this over time, and they had to build it over time to the point where it was, they were able to be profitable. That took time. They weren't profitable at first when they started Game Pass. They were in the red, but it took time. It took years of time. Do you think Sony is going to be able to just completely go in the red for maybe what amount to a year or more? You're crazy if you think and be able to do that, put in their games day and date. Remember, they got these games for $70. Who in the hell is going to be spending $70 on their games? That's going to kill their what is for them a big part of their revenue, and it's also going to take them. It's going to take them a year or more for them to even maybe break even, let alone make good profit. It's just not going to happen. Then at the same time, it's not like Microsoft is just going to stand still and then let Sony just go ahead and have the equivalent of Game Pass, and then that's okay. We're just going to stay the same and not really grow and not really add any more studios or add any more content to our. No, that's not going to happen. You're dreaming. Microsoft is going to continue to keep adding to the diversity of their games, broadening their game landscape, and we even got these Game Pass coming to your TV soon. This year, you'll be having Game Pass on your TV. Okay, so if you think that Microsoft is going to stand still while Sony would be trying to get their act together, you better ask somebody. And if you don't think Sony doesn't know that, of course they know that. They're already looking at what it would take for them to do that, and then how far along Sony would be versus them, and how worth it would it be for them to make such an investment. And I'm gonna tell you, they've already figured out they'll be asked out, that they just wouldn't have the time and the know-how and couldn't afford the investment to be able to do that. And so this is the reason why you're not going to see Sony doing this anytime soon. It's not going to happen. What you're going to see is small increments of Sony making adjustments little by little. This Project Spartacus is the beginning of that. What you're seeing is them dipping your toes in, seeing how, looking at the analytics, looking at the numbers, seeing how their customer base responds to it, and trying to figure it out. That's what you're seeing. So that's why it's such a lackluster response, because it's really just a test trial for them to see, hey, what would this look like if we started implementing something like this on our platform? And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see that play out for the next 2 years or so. And before you would ever see anything like a day and date, actually, there any of their actual first party exclusives coming to any streaming service. You're definitely going to see years of them trying to really trying to figure out how could they make something like that possible. So these are some of the reasons of why that's not going to happen. When you see any of these guys talking about, oh yeah, we will get something like that and better, and yeah, okay, you're just retarded. There's no precedence for that at all, nor is there no evidence that that's ever going to happen. What Sony will continue to do is do what they're doing with this game right here. They're going to keep on trying to make these games exclusive to their platform, like they've been doing. Even though, of course, no one's going to call that a monopoly. No one's going to care because it's Sony. They get to do that. But they're going to continue to do that. They're going to continue to see what they can do to just keep trying to make timed exclusive games along with their first party games. I mean, this is really honestly all Sony can do, because they can't afford to take on such big publishers like they couldn't even afford to take on Activision Blizzard. You kidding? Not even close. That's worth damn near half what their company's worth. You know what I mean? They just couldn't do it. And you got to remember, it's not just the cost of buying the company; it's the cost of supporting the company, and then building the company, and then having all of those employees that you have to pay, that you have to manage. You know how much money that's going to be year after year after year. Sony couldn't afford that. They just couldn't do it. And that's why you would never see them buy anything close to Activision Blizzard or anything close to a Bethesda. It will not happen. They just don't have the money to do something like that. It doesn't make any sense for them. When it comes to they're not a company that's nowhere near on a level of Microsoft in regards to their revenue and their ability of their resources to be able to make such moves like that. So what you're going to see is small little increments from Sony over time, and that's about the best they're going to be able to do. So yeah, man, that's pretty much my video on that. Just the breakdown on that. So when you hear these guys saying that, just let them know, yeah, sure, no, not going to happen. Sony just doesn't have the ability to make investments like that. And that's just not going to be their business model. They're just going to keep dipping their feet little by little, trying to learn and grow over time. But that might take the whole generation. So, yeah, man, I would like to hear what you guys think about that, man. Kick it down. Tell me, do you think Sony's going to be able to compete with Game Pass? I would say hell no, not even close. And probably not for the whole damn generation. But man, yeah, man, that's my opinion on that. Just based off the facts and the precedents that's taken place so far, man. But I would love to hear what you guys think. Until the next time, man, I'm gone.